Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back and I got a haul video from my time in Tulsa at Wizard World Con this weekend, and I got a lot of books to show, and if you just bear with me, I'll try to get through them as quick as I can. The first ones I have are autographed by Arthur Sidem, the artist behind the Marvel Zombies, and he's a great guy. Signed a few books for me and had a great conversation with him. Had a lot of good stories. Dude's real cool. The first one I have is Marvel Zombies 2 5 of 5, the homage to the fight between Silver Surfer and Thor, and that's a great cover, and he signed it right down here. As you can see, he signed it, and that's the first book. The second is my favorite one, which is a homage to X-Men #1, and he signed it over here in gold, as you can see. And yeah, I just love this cover because I don't have an X-Men one yet, but you know I'm always out there hunting and looking for one, so eventually it's gonna come home to me one day, so we'll find it. And then I had this Moon Knight. He did the cover, and he also signed it over here on this side over here, as you can see. And I like that Moon Knight cover, so I picked that up too as well and had him sign that. So those are the three that he's did. And also at the convention, Mike Grell was there, and he signed this for me. It's a Green Arrow Longbow Hunters book 1, and he signed it right here, as you can see on the bottom down here. And like I said, I'm not a real big Green Arrow fan, but just talking with that guy, Mike Grell, he was an awesome guy, friendly, real nice, has some great stories, great artist. So I had to get him to sign this for me. It was, you know, a must-have, I guess, in my collection, because I'm not ever going to get rid of it, because the time I spent with him was pretty cool. And then there was a few comic book dealers there, and one guy I went to, he had like stuff on his wall, and there were raw books, and I were asking him the price, you know, for like his Luke Cage #1, and he would quote me, you know, CGC graded prices that are like on eBay, and they weren't even like CGC books, they were raw books. And I'm sitting there like, why are you quoting me like a 9.8 quote for a book that might be just like a 5 or maybe a 6, and you're wanting like $500 or $600 for this book? And there's no, you know, you're not a professional grader, and it's not even graded, so you're sitting there telling me that a price that might not even be accurate. You know, I might overpay for this book. And so I didn't do any business with him, but there was a guy there that knew his stuff about CGC, and he knew I knew my stuff, and we were sitting there talking, you know, about different books, and he worked some deals with me and stuff, and I had a great time talking to that guy, and his wife was real nice. And these are some of the books that I picked up from him. I picked up a lot of books actually from him. I got the first appearance of Gwenum, as you can see right there. I love that cover. It's just the rainbows and all that stuff. It looks great. So I picked that up from him as well. And then I had to get this cover, which is Spider-Man 123. Luke Cage punching Spider-Man off the building. And I just love that cover. I always wanted it. So he had it, and he gave me a good deal on it, so I couldn't complain. And growing up in the 90s, I went to go see this movie, and I had no idea what it was about. All I knew was it was supposed to be a superhero movie, and Alec Baldwin was the star, and I had to pick this up. It brought back nostalgia. The Shadow #1. I love the movie. I love everything about the Shadow. Like, he's an underused DC character, I guess. I guess he's owned by DC now, but I mean, this is a great book. I found it at that guy's at his stand, and we worked out a deal and I got it from him. And then I also picked up this to go with it, which is the Shadow #1 Dark Avenger Returns, and it was only $2, so I went ahead and grabbed that too. It's a #1, so you know, you never know. Pick it up and grab it and go with it. That's what I always say. And then picked up this Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man #127. I just like these black, all black covers with, you know, just the white to show Spider-Man, which is, I just love that. And it's got the lizard, and it's a Milgram. Let me see if you can see that without the glare. Yeah, a Milgram cover. But I mean, yeah, I had to pick that up. I just like those. It reminds me of that John Byrne cover that I have slabbed, so I like that. So I picked that up, and then I picked up another key, the first full appearance of Doomsday. So I had to get that. I just like Doomsday as a super villain character, so I picked that up. So had to get that one. Nothing real special about it, you know, just Doomsday. And then I got a speculation book here, which is everybody's been talking about the Midnight Suns. So I picked that up. It hasn't even been from that guy's stand. It hasn't even been opened from the original wrapping that it came in back in 1992. So it's bagged and boarded, and it's still in the special collector's item issue. So yeah, picked that up for a speculation book because everybody's been talking about the Midnight Sun, so I grabbed that. And this one I just grabbed strictly because it is Michael Turner and Superboy is on the cover, and Robin, and you can't go wrong with that. Before, you know, Damian and I forgot John Connor, before they showed up, you know, these were the two that were filling the shoes. So, you know, and plus it's Michael Turner art, so you got to keep that around. And then this is a major key, kind of. Not only is it a J. Scott Campbell cover of Masters of the Universe, but inside is also a preview of Invincible #1. And this used to go for a lot of money, but now it's kind of just died off, but still it's a J. Scott Campbell cover. And like I said, you can't beat that. I like that. And I've seen this in a few videos. Identity Crisis #4. It's a sweet Wonder Woman cover. Also, and it is Michael Turner as well, so I had to pick that up again. And just a beautiful, beautiful cover. Michael Turner, man, rest in peace. Dude did some brilliant art. I mean, just great. And this one is one of my favorites. I picked this up because I used to always bug Thanatos about showing me this book when he had it slabbed on his shelving, and I'd always tell him, you know, them legs, let me see them legs. And so now when I was at that con, the dealer that I was talking with, he had this book and I had to have it, and so I picked it up from him, and I'm glad that I own this book now. I'm going to get this slabbed. This is going to be slabbed. I think it might be either a 9.8 to maybe a 9.6, who knows, but it will be getting slabbed. And thank you, Thanatos, for them legs. As he would say, moist. And I picked up another key right here. We got Batman 457, which is the first, I believe it's Tim Drake in a Robin costume. But I'm always looking for that one that's supposed to be like the more valuable one. But this is a newsprint, but I'm not sure if it's this one. And then, like, I noticed that Batman is purple here, and then he's got the blue up here. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I'll find out later. I'll have to check and see. But yeah, I picked that one up again. I have one of those. Now this one, I was so happy when I found this. I was just like, who doesn't like Wolverine and Batman mixed together? Dark Claw #1, Amalgama Comics, when DC and Marvel joined together and put their like #1 characters together. That is just beautiful. I mean, who doesn't like that? Wolverine and Batman together. So I was happy that he had that, and I picked that up. And then I have another key issue here. I got Detective Comics number 608, the first appearance of Anarchy. So I picked that up and I was glad to get that. And I just seen that in the wild, so I was like, cool. That dude, I mean, this guy had everything. I mean, if you named it, he pretty much had it. And here's a beautiful cover right here by McFarlane. This is Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man and Dazzler, number 230. And I picked this up. I've seen this in I forgot whose video it was, but I seen this in a video and I was like, man, I like that McFarlane cover. And when I picked this one up, there was another one that I did not know existed, but it had my favorite other character on there as well. And we have Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man and Iceman by McFarlane as well. And Iceman looks awesome in here. You know, McFarlane's pretty good at drawing, and this is just beautiful. So I like this one as well. So I had to pick that up. Then I found Nomad number 1, which is a pretty good deal right there. And it's Bucky running around as Nomad. So I got that one, had to get that. And again, I got some more Michael Turner art. Michael Turner doing Supergirl on Superman and Batman number 13, so I couldn't pass that up. I mean, this guy had like, and these were like in the guys like $2, $3 bins, dollar bins, and I was just like, wow, I was amazed that I was just finding all this stuff in there. And then we got Moon Knight number 5, David Finch. Great artwork. Taskmaster in the back about to take out Moon Knight. I mean, you can't complain about that. It's just a great cover there. David Finch, you can't ever go wrong with him doing a cover. And I like that book. This one I just picked up because it has Stan the Man on the cover, She-Hulk in the back. Looked like she's about to knock the crap out of Stan. Fantastic Four 275. Just a great Stan Lee cover. And just had to pick that up because I enjoyed it. And can't ever stop picking these up. I don't know why, but every time I go out and I see these, I pick them up. X-Men number 1 by Jim Lee. We all know the famous covers. I picked up this one, which is one of my favorites, like Wolverine, Cyclops, and Iceman. And then I had to pick up this one with my favorite villain in Marvel, Magneto. And so I picked those two up, and you know, have to have them every time I see them. So, and then I got some good old Alex Ross artwork. Superman, Parasite, Faces of Evil, number 12. Just a beautiful Alex Ross cover. I mean, can't complain about that. Just the guy does his work, and you know it's good. Bueller would be happy with this one right here. War Machine number 1. It's all, excuse the glare, but it's all shiny, as you can see. And it's a gecko cover. Pretty good deal on that. I just picked it up because it was a number 1 and it was shiny. Like I said, Bueller would probably like that. Some more Alex Ross right here. The Death of Paul Kent. Superman 685. Origins and Omens. I mean, just a great cover. You can see the pain in Superman's eyes from the loss of his surrogate dad, and just a great cover. I seen this, had to pick it up, and like I said, this was in this guy's like marked down boxes and stuff. I mean, so I had to grab them. And then we got Tick number 3, and I believe it's the reprint because it says Encore Presentation, but my son's a fan of the Tick, so I picked it up for him. And I just picked it up. Other than that, I couldn't find the number 1. I think he had like a number 6 or something like that, but number 3 was the lowest that he had, and a reprint, you know, you never know. So I picked that up. And I always pick up Miracle Man anytime I see it. It's the number 1. Joe Quesada did the cover. You know, he's pretty good at his work. I used to love his Ash comic book back in the 90s, but I hadn't seen that around in a while though. But I picked up Miracle Man number 1. Mr. Miracle Man. Oh man, too many miracles out there, huh? But I picked that up. And then I got these homage covers. This is a hilarious cover. It's a homage cover to Green Lantern 87. and you got the Flash zipping by Barry Allen like he's messing up the timeline again. So I had to get that, and I enjoy that cover. I am looking for an 87, but until now I'll go with this because I kind of find it funny. And then I got this one. This is Green Lantern 23, and it's a homage to Green Lantern 49, with a different series, I guess. But this one is a homage to that, and with Hal Jordan with all the rings, and he looks crazy. Same thing here. I like this one, so it's a pretty good homage to it. And oh yeah, this one was Green Lantern Corps. Sorry, this is Green Lantern Corps number 38. If you were wondering what it was, I'm sorry about that. Forgot to tell you. And then I picked this up because I always like Jim Lee work, and this didn't cost that much. It's Wildcats. It's a trade paperback, so I picked that up so I can read some old school Wildcats. Still waiting on my #1 signed Wildcats, but it should be coming soon. And Jim Lee signed it, so I'm still waiting for that to come back. Then I got this Captain America and Falcon 182, and it's got Captain America dressed up as Nomad on the cover. I don't know if it's his first appearance. I really didn't look into it. I just seen Nomad on the cover, and I seen Madam Hydra on there as well. So I went ahead and got that. It's not in really the best condition, but for $1 you couldn't beat it, so I just went ahead and grabbed it. And this is a great cover here. This is Aquaman #2, where he loses his hand to the piranhas, and as it says, to the bone. And I remember this from the 90s, and like just it was like a big thing. And then he got the hook and stuff, and he got all gritty and had the armor. And this was the steps to that. So, and it's a newsstand, so I got that. Now this book here is Invincible 51, the second printing, the homage to Invincible #1. Now, I believe this is worth some money. I couldn't find anything on it, like on eBay or anything. This is the second printing. The first printing, I've seen it on there, and it's not a lot. I remember seeing this for like some kind of money, but I'm not for sure. But I picked it up because I hadn't seen it in the wild before. And I don't have Invincible 1, as I said before in another video. I have #2, and it's a 9.6, but this is the closest I've got so far to a #1, like that. It's not a reprint or something like that. So this is a pretty good homage cover. I like this, and I have to look into it more about, because this is the second printing. I think it's rare because I don't really see a lot of these out there. And this is the second one I picked up of these. It's Uncanny X-Men 268. Just a great Jim Lee cover. Oh, just a great Jim Lee cover there, and everybody should have this in their collection. This is my second one I have, so it's just a good Wolverine, Captain America, my favorite, and Black Widow. And I picked this up. Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, the conclusion to Kraven's Hunt. Just missing #2 now. I have 1, 3, 4, 5, and now 6, and I just need to find #2, and I'll have that series complete. I love the story growing up when I was a kid, and to find them all is kind of a hassle, but I'm gonna get it done. I just got one more to go, which is the one that Kraven's holding the suit over the grave, so that's the next one I'm gonna be looking for. Now this one, me and Reggie Simmons kept going back and forth because he has like 3 or 4 copies of this, and I could not find one. I found a #50, and the #50 at a 9.8 goes for like $150, I believe. And the guy at the con that I'd been talking to had this book in his dollar bin, and I could not believe it. It's a newsstand copy. It's Darkhawk #1. I wouldn't say it's in mint it's probably close to, I'd say like either a 9 or maybe an 8.5, because he even said it was probably a 9. It needs some pressing because there's kind of like a little crease right here, like somebody wrote on it, and then a little dog ear right there, but not breaking color too much. So I mean, it's a pretty good looking book. I mean, not too bad for $1. I couldn't complain. And he even knew that they go for a number one and a 9.8 goes for like 250 or something like that. He told me, he was like, you know, I know these go for this, but you know, since me and him had such a great time talking to each other, he gave it to me for basically $1. And I was just like, I was like, wow, that's amazing, you know. So sometimes it pays to know your stuff and to talk to people and, you know, just show them, you know, that, hey, I'm here to do business and not, you know, play around. And then I picked this up, which is Fantastic Four 500. And I just like the cover on it. It's a Riviera cover. And the Human Torch just kind of set it off for me on this one. And then you got Reed in the back. And it just looks great, you know, standing next to Ben Grimm. So pick that up. I don't know if there's anything significant about it. I just like the cover. That's why I grabbed that one. And then I grabbed Superman Unchained #1, Jim Lee cover. And then I also grabbed Superman Unchained #1, the director's cut. So I have both of those together. And I just like both covers, so I went ahead and grabbed them. So it was a good deal for me. So grab those two. And the final book from my haul and the Wizard World, excuse me, and the Wizard World Tulsa-Con was Captain America 46, celebrating 70 years of Marvel, Human Torch cover. And nothing significant to me about it. I just like the Human Torch on this cover. So this is the last book that I grabbed that day. So I like to thank you guys. If you stayed with me the whole time, thank you. Y'all guys have a great night and keep hunting, man. You never know what you find out there.